it's very exciting. In fact, for anyone that's into like Myers-Briggs personality types, ShaDoWn is the only other player that has the same personality type as me, which is ENFP, that I have met. And trust me, I like make players take personality type tests all the time. So yeah, from that perspective, it's difficult for me not to root for ShaDoWn, because I feel like he's one of the last players that isn't just doing the same thing over and over again, you know?
Fair enough. That makes sense. As we have spawning down on the bottom left for Berserker Esports, it's ShaDoWn.
And in the top right-hand side, it is his with me, KingCobra. Do Cobras even his? I'm not even sure.
I mean, I'll allow it. Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't they?
I would think that they would. Yeah, I would think that they would. You know, there was I mentioned I was watching some CSGO lately, and there was a discussion on whether panthers roar, and I'm like, well, of course they roar, right? Like, what else are they gonna do? Because it just has to do with the size of their throats. So similarly, of course, I think given the structure of the cobra and it being a serpent, it certainly hisses. It has that tongue that it sticks out.
That'd be weird if it didn't.
It would be very strange, yeah.
Yeah. Like what? Like imagine a world where snakes roar.
That would be interesting. Yeah, I don't think the structure of their throat would allow for it, right?
No, it would. By breaking, it's like when you break a line of code in like a massive program, and just the consequences are just unforeseen. So like, what would happen to the rest of the world when you do that? Who knows?
Yeah, impossible to know. ShaDoWn's going to be blocking the expansion here of KingCobra, who goes for his very unique approach in a one gate on the high ground and then into a Stargate. He had already taken the second gas, so he's not going to be too hindered by this pylon. As you can see, he's not manking up enough that he would want to drop that Nexus just yet, so things are going to work out for him just fine. And we were I guess put my money where my mouth is. If we think we know what KingCobra is going to be up to, he is the type of player that likes to turtle on a low amount of bases, sometimes cannon rush. That's out of the question for this game. Yeah. And then, go into something like Immortal. Sometimes he will delay or completely forego the warp gate, which is what he is doing so far in this game. And then try to get into basically unstoppable armies on the back of a few Immortals, a lot of static defense. We already see a shield battery being dropped on the low ground there. And then go into carriers and just kind of, trade efficiently with less economy, because he will forgo map control in that process.
Yeah, and ShaDoWn is going to be more than happy to go that route and say, okay, you want to do that? I will seize map control. I'm not just going to, you're not just going to give it to me. I am going to take it by force. He's going for that Twilight Council, of course. He is going to be loving his Blink Stalkers. I mean, they're obviously very good in the matchup for a reason, but KingCobra, he should be going for Hallucination, right? A hallucinated hallucinated Phoenix. There it is. Ooh, does it get intercepted and picked off? Oh, one more shot.
It might still.
Man, wow.
Yeah, it can still be greeted by a Stalker on the other side and denied that information. But for now, ShaDoWn playing it safe in case there's an Oracle follow-up, which there is. But it will be poking into the natural expansion. It looks like one probe should be free here, should it be spotted, and now more than one actually, as he gets the transfer.
Oh, that's actually a big deal, and ShaDoWn kind of hesitated back and forth with that probe transfer, ends up losing 3 probes in total. KingCobra is still behind a little bit in the worker count. We do see ShaDoWn really trying to track this Oracle down, but fortunately for KingCobra, he made the right turns and, well, I mean, actually it was a left turn there, but he made the correct turns and got out of the way. KingCobra, as is his wont, not getting that warp gate, will be going straight up into the Immortal as you predicted. And, in a previous series, he tried to go for a Mothership Rush. It really did not work out for him. Mm-hmm. But do you think he goes for something similarly crazy, or is it just going to be straight up into Void Ray Carrier?
No, I think the Mothership is a very good tool in order to just stay safe. It's very difficult to attack into it, and when you have enough static defense and Immortals under it, it can soak up a lot of damage, right? So I think the Mothership is one of those things, one of those trademark units that KingCobra is going to be looking to pull out early on. So it is very likely that he does it. I don't think he'll be discouraged by that game, even though I missed it. And yeah, I mean, ShaDoWn has to be aware of what KingCobra's style is. And I think that he is, because he's taking already a very fast third. And that is what you do with that map control, right? Like, try and get away with a greater economy. Try to basically just take more of the map and squeeze more value out of the map, so that you have the resources to trade in, knowing that your opponent is going to have fortified positions and kind of just higher tier units to try to absorb. So yeah, let's see what ShaDoWn can do.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, there it is. Starts it right up. Fires up the biggest, heaviest, most expensive hero unit in the game. That does have a particular meme attached to it. Well, the funny part about this is that the 3 bases are almost easier to turtle than the 2 bases in a weird way, because once you secure that like pocket third, you can no longer get blinked on into the main base. But until that happens, you are almost just as spread out on 2 bases as 3, which is like super weird. There is some nice stasis wards ready to greet a potential blink into the main base. And look at this, he even doubles down on it. He really wants a lot of stasis wards. Yeah. I really like that one in the main base in particular.
Yeah, looking for that blink like you were saying, and now attempting at a forward one so that he may establish his grounds to take a third base. We see that the natural is very well protected already. And this is the slow and methodical approach that KingCobra likes to take little by little. He's keeping up in supply for the time being, but we already see that ShaDoWn is well ahead in workers. Let's see if that stasis that you were mentioning will come into play here. It looks like it might. ShaDoWn actually spots it in the last second there.
Yeah, it certainly looks like he was able to spot that.
No,
we'll blink
that's not
away.
Gonna work. Not gonna work.
It just doesn't have the DPS, no.
Yeah.
And on it, I mean, he actually, funnily enough, didn't need to blink out of the main base because, you know, the army wasn't rotating very quickly at all from KingCobra. But now with that mothership out, he's more than locked down on these 2 bases. And as long as he doesn't, you know, let the mothership get caught out of position. Oh, stasis ward.
Careful.
Oh, okay. Oh, actually, that's not so bad. Their blink is off cooldown, so they can blink away when the stasis ward expires. That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it's a lot of DPS that will come out of these Immortals, however, so yet still he might lose 1 or 2 in this process. Oh, he actually moves a little bit away from the Stalkers, which allows them to blink left if they want to. Oh, they won't be paid attention to. Now they blink to the left. So yeah, not really getting taxed there, which is nice for ShaDoWn, who continues to expand. He's now taking a 4th base and continuing to get that map control that KingCobra basically forfeits for free in favor of getting these very expensive, very powerful units. Now going into a robotics facility, which is not something that I'm used to from him, so maybe going for the disruptors as well.
Yeah, that is... that could be extremely effective, you know, against this heavy Blink Stalker play. But it is even more tech that he's investing into, which means his army supply is going to struggle to keep up. This stasis ward, ooh, blink away. Oh, well, he blinks away with the front stalker, but it gets 2 more caught and actually turns it into a little force field wall.
Yeah. And look at that. I mean, it's so difficult to attack into that, especially not knowing what's under it, right? And KingCobra with good vision with an observer forward as well. I like what ShaDoWn is doing here with Warp Prism and with the 2 points of attack here. And this is the creativity that we were talking about. I mean, usually you have 1 proxy location set up outside of your opponent, but he is looking for different solutions against a player that requires them, to be quite honest. Now he's going to spot the carriers. You gotta go after the shield battery overcharge. Not gonna matter, actually. It does get the pylon, but it's not an Artosis pylon, so now the mineral line a little bit exposed. Only 3 workers will fall, and on the other side, another shield or another stasis trap being procted there, trapping a little bit of his army.
Yeah, these stasis wards have been so clutch. He's actually just used the oracles pretty much exclusively for them, and they have paid pretty huge dividends. Only 6 probes going down. I mean, KingCobra is very far behind in economy, but ShaDoWn's army quality is quite bad, and he sees and realizes, okay, I'm not going to break my opponent easily. Maybe I still can, but I need to have a transition ready to go, and he's getting that +1 weapons. Ooh, tries to go for the disruptor. Not able to get it. Oh, the huge zealot run by into the natural, though. That might...
massive.
Actually, is their battery overcharge even available? No, it wasn't. He could have clicked the Nexus. I think he could have killed the Nexus right there. Instead, he is probably just going to lose all these zealots for not a whole lot of gain, to be honest.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, he did kill a lot of workers, right? So he nearly has double the amount of workers that his opponent has, and he has to continue to look for this kind of trade, because if we look at the income tab, which has been our favorite tab today, we see that ShaDoWn can afford to trade nearly twice as bad as KingCobra can and still be in decent shape to continue on with the game, especially accounting for the fact that KingCobra will run out of minerals in the main and natural eventually, whereas ShaDoWn has complete map control. So I liked the sellout run by. I'm not sure that he would have killed Nexus, maybe so, and that would have been a great price to take, but certainly he could have killed a few probes, and I think, you know, going for the short kills is not the worst thing in the world. It's a very uncommon approach as well from ShaDoWn here.
Yeah, he's really trying to come in from multiple angles, but with this amount of static defense, you really can't kill this. Ow, however, now he is, oh my god, I was going to say he's going up to 5 Stargates, 6 Stargates, and then he adds a total of 7.
Brilliant. I mean, that is excellent, right? Like, he's already preparing for his own transition because he knows he has the economy. The problem is KingCobra going to allow for the transition? Because once ShaDoWn trades in enough units, KingCobra is sure to cross the map. So that is why you want the 7 Stargates in this case, is to pump out so many units at once that you have them ready for when you inevitably waste your army for, you know, for whatever value you can get for it.
Yeah. This is starting to get scary, though, I feel like. This is actually... And I actually think 7 Stargates is too much. Like, I think you... man, like, he can't even come close to affording to use all of them. Even...
Not yet.
Not yet. Like, maybe he gets to a point where he builds up a massive bank. He needs a lot more gas in the bank for it, though. Initially, I was wondering if he was maybe going to try and go Phoenixes with, like, Anion Pulse Crystals. We actually do have the Anion Pulse Crystals upgrade coming in from KingCobra here. So wait, was he anticipating the same move? Was he thinking Void Rays? What?
He just spotted the Stargates with a hallucinated Phoenix, so he knows what's going on. Now the Oracles are going to confirm as well. So he wants to switch into his own Phoenix to contend with the Tempests. And, you know, Phoenix are pretty good if they can dive on top of those.
Yeah. Yeah, they actually trade cost efficiently and then some against Tempests. Like, they are actually very good against them. So, yeah, no, you've got to be right. That's definitely what it is. We do have the +1 air armor and +1 shields finishing up here for ShaDoWn, but he is going to be behind in the attack upgrade timing by a decent little bit. I think, though, with the other upgrades, that'll be enough. We do see the disruptors. Ooh, they're going to... Well, wow.
Stasis.
Wow, the stasis locks that disruptor in. Okay, it will wiggle its way out. That is very funny. The stasis just saved, like, 7 zealots.
Yeah, and ShaDoWn has done a good job of kind of just trading his army for the time being, right? And KingCobra is approaching the kind of like his max, where he is going to have like an army that on paper should be unstoppable, and it probably very well will be. It's a question of if ShaDoWn's basically playing Zerg at this point, right? And looking for a Remax victory more likely than not. And he should be able to trade well enough with this Tempests, I think, on the first pass, that if he has a big enough bank, he can maybe end up turning the tides here. But this army from KingCobra is so scary, and this is just, you know, we were talking about Geralt doing the same thing over and over. This is what KingCobra does, and he is very good at it.
He is extremely good at it. We are going to see these Oracles finally being used aggressively, and they find 12 probes on the other side of the map. I mean, ShaDoWn's mineral bank is fantastic, but his gas bank does leave a lot wanting, a lot to be desired. I do have to say, I really love the Phoenix transition against this Mass Tempest play. I think it's a super cool way of doing it, and I don't know if ShaDoWn is going to anticipate that move.
Yeah, it depends on how familiar he is with KingCobra and this style, and how prepared he's going to be here. But yeah, now he's losing a few workers, which isn't the worst thing in the world, honestly. Like, he already, like you mentioned, has a good mineral bank, and he is maxed out. So ShaDoWn right now has to look for ways to trade efficiently. A base trade is always a little bit of an option against this type of army, but you can't give KingCobra too much room. He has already managed to situate himself at a 4th base, and even though you have, you know, twice as many bases, it may not be enough if KingCobra gets an efficient enough trade. And is there even an Oracle for ShaDoWn? Yeah, there is 2.
Yeah, he built those or at least he built one towards the end. I don't know how long ago he built the other one. Probably built 2 just to be on the safe side. This is kind of nice. Gets a couple of free static D pickoffs. Now, his goal ShaDoWn's goal right now is to tag that mothership and just instantly take it out before the fight. But here come these Phoenixes. There's so many of them. And yeah, he's going to force an instant recall. Disruptor shot does land. And now we've got a tricky situation because these Tempests are going to struggle against the Phoenixes. Look at them. Look at them going down. They get one-shotted, basically, by this fleet of Phoenixes. Zealots will find themselves fighting against these Immortals. I actually really like that he trades out the Immortals here to add on more and more Phoenixes. I think that's a great decision.
Yeah, that was his safety mechanism early on, but now he recognizes that the only threat is the air in itself, and now KingCobra is out and in full force here. So let's see what ShaDoWn can do to try to stop this. He is still making just Tempests.
Yeah, and that's not going to cut it. I think KingCobra is going to just run this army down. It can't even recall now. Look at how quickly the Tempests go down to this huge number of Phoenixes. The Phoenix do have +3 weapons. They are fighting against the +2 air armor and the +1 shields. The carriers are adding on so much DPS as well. The Stalkers cannot blink it forward on top of the Disruptors are going to come on in. Mothership does get taken down, but this is still looking very difficult here for ShaDoWn. I think KingCobra's maybe done it.
We'll see. I mean, ShaDoWn is doing a good job of at least target firing the carriers, and they are kind of getting one-shotted for the time being. Now the Phoenix find a good angle onto the rest of the Tempest, and the Tempest want to try to re-engage onto the carrier. So KingCobra doing a great job of actually disengaging, even though it looked pretty good for him. He will get rid of the Tempest before the Tempest get rid of the carriers. And now ShaDoWn mostly working with Stalkers, and production still mostly just air upgrades for the side of the French, and not much else to speak of. He is pretty far behind in supply right now. Oh, not sure about that recall.
Oh, he saves the carrier just barely. Look at the resources lost right now. It is more than double in favor, 12,000 to over 26,000 for his opponent. And I mean, the resources mine is fantastic, but now these oracles, they come back in. He runs out of energy on that shield battery, another 6 kills.
Yeah, that's 28 between those two oracles all day. So they have done a lot of work here. Never mind the stasis traps, which were wildly successful. It's those same two oracles the entire time.
Oh, and look at those Phoenix lifts right there. He kills off like 6 of those Stalkers towards the tail end. Blink not going to be able to save him for all the Stalkers. Mothership being rebuilt, more and more carriers being added on. ShaDoWn is down in workers right now. KingCobra's just chilling on 4 bases. And again, the oracles dart on in. They have been worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, I mean, this is not looking good for ShaDoWn at all. Now the Phoenix come in here. They can definitely do something against these Stalkers, and I'm not sure that Stalkers are going to cut it, but ShaDoWn seems to be running out of ideas. A Templar Archives goes down, which is good. I guess Archons and or even High Templars for feedback, though that is pretty difficult to pull off because the Phoenix are going to encroach so fast that you're going to get a couple of feedbacks off, probably not even kill those units, and then your Templars die instantly. So probably Archons against how clumped up these Phoenix are going to be.
I think the Archons actually would have been great with the Tempests earlier when it was a different situation. When in that case, you kind of use them as Archons to guard carriers like it's PvZ. You're using them to guard them against the Corruptors diving on top. Oh my god, look at those lifts. There's so many lifts. And man, oh man, KingCobra drops it in. The wombo combo for the kill.
Steph Curry and Steven Pippen.
Oh my goodness, that was incredible. Absolutely nutty engagement right there from KingCobra. Comes in. The man is like 32 years old and just absolutely puts on a clinic in this game. GG gets called and ShaDoWn will have no choice but to tap out after losing more than double of his opponent's resources lost. KingCobra, he does it again.
He does it again. And yeah, I mean, what an absolute beast KingCobra is, to be honest. And I've seen this work so many times. I remember in one of the Root Cups, actually, he was going up against Trigger while Trigger was also participating in those. And he 3-0 Trigger or 3-1 Trigger or something like that. But in the next week, and the week after that, then Trigger came back and kind of figured him out. So it might be an issue of playing against it and just adjusting little things to try and go up against this style of KingCobra, right? Because it's definitely not easy, and he's definitely going to trade cost efficiently. So you need a game plan that is a different brand of StarCraft than any other PvP that you're used to playing.
Yes, you absolutely do. And it's important to note as well that that is the best map in the pool to do what KingCobra just did. Like, turtling it out, maybe Moondance. Moondance is also going to be difficult to break an opponent that's on 3 bases, 4 bases. But of course, you know, you have less gas on Moondance on your 3 bases and even on your 4. But it is going to be a lot more difficult to execute that kind of style on some of the more open maps. Now, we are getting into Inside and Out, which is still a relatively choky map, but it also has the bases a little bit more spread out, and you can break down rocks, open up attack paths into them. It's not going to be quite as easy for KingCobra to do what he did there.
Yeah, and yet I think that's exactly what we're going to see attempted. So we'll see if it works out for him, as we are now loaded into game number 2 and looking for different answers. This is a fun game because we're going to see definitely a difference in approach from this man right here. It is for Berserk Esports, ShaDoWn.
And his opponent, spawning up at the top right. For Root Gaming, root for root, it is KingCobra. That was incredible. What a game out of KingCobra. And oh my goodness, he's doing it. He's going for the cannons.
The
Let's
classic.
go.
All right. And ShaDoWn, I mean, he's gonna see the timing here. We were talking about timings before. Actually, he's not gonna see the timing because the first probe was hidden. So now he sees this probe. Now he knows it's a cannon rush. Probably I was gonna say maybe a wall of pylons there at the top of that ramp, but instead KingCobra knows a very annoying position on this map where 2 pylons will wall off a single cannon. But I'm not sure how much I love this. We'll see if it works out.
Oh, I was wondering for a second if he was going to try and take advantage of kind of a pseudo SOS spot right there, but he just wants to go for a very quick setup. No forge on the response from ShaDoWn, so he is going to go. It's got to be a proxy Stargate response. Maybe?
Very likely, but KingCobra has already tagged the probe of ShaDoWn out on the map, so he was thinking along the same lines as you. The ShaDoWn, however, will win the fight out on the map against KingCobra, not paying attention to that, instead paying attention here, and that means the probe is free to go for those Stargates. This Zealot, I'm surprised, is actually going back into the main, but fair enough. Actually, there is a little bit of gap, I think, where the Zealot can shoot at the cannon, where the cannon cannot shoot back. There isn't. Jeez.
And now those little probe zaps are actually a problem, because if both probes get a hit before the shields regenerate...
I think he could have got him. I think KingCobra was a little bit slow there to react on the probe, so that probe could have fallen. And ShaDoWn is going to have to do something else. He's going for a proxy Nexus, but it's got to be spotted. I mean, it's in the position that KingCobra lost his probe, so he's just going to go back there and find it.
I think you just drop a pylon here and you just threaten to cannon rush it again. Yeah, why not? Stalker's going to try and come out, but we are going to see this pylon on the natural expansion.
No!
KingCobra. No, ShaDoWn, don't lose the probe. Oh, he needs to keep that alive so desperately. Probe's starting to fall. In the main base, the probe goes down there. KingCobra.
No.
The Stalker, the natural, will it pop out?
It doesn't look like it. Actually, he's going to walk across the map, force a cannon perhaps on the side of KingCobra. Face palm from ShaDoWn.
I think if that Stalker hadn't gone out, that actually would have been GG right there. As it is, I don't see how ShaDoWn wiggles his way out of this.
Very difficult.
That's a brilliant surround, though, with the probes on top of the Zealot. But he's going to lose the Nexus.
Yeah, the Nexus is going to fall, and on the other side, I mean, he can get a recall, but the Nexus is not going to be faster than the cannons, so it is going to be.
Oh my God!
He has to recall still all of the probes right now and fight with the Stalker. No, don't lose the Stalker!
Oh my God! He's gonna provide block the surface area on that cannon. That's brilliant move with that pylon build.
Brilliant indeed. The 2 probes are tagged onto the Stalker, so ShaDoWn with a lot to do here, as KingCobra wants to destroy his sweater. That's a song.
I'm so sad that KingCobra didn't build a second cannon at that base. If he had, this game would be over 100%. Ooh, the recall didn't get all of the workers. As it is, ShaDoWn, even though it's 17 probes to 13, 18 probes to 13 now for KingCobra, not all of them are mining here for ShaDoWn, and ShaDoWn's going to lose the fight. Oh my! I think KingCobra just wins right now. No,
I think he does.
Yeah. Okay, the probes have to keep this Stalker alive, but how? If they do, they're not going to be mining. Oh my god, the Stalker's going to go down. ShaDoWn is going to lose the Stalker, and GG gets called. KingCobra does it at 4 minutes and 20 seconds.